Thing here, if there is a lesson here, Omakongo, I really believe the lesson is for progressives, Democrats, liberals, is to understand this: the power of the courts.
Yep.
Conservatives always got it. They played long ball. We can go back, the decision by Ruth Bader Ginsburg not to step down when President Obama was there. She wanted to be replaced by a female president. She assumed, like many others, that Hillary Clinton was going to be that person. Didn't happen. You see, when Anthony Kennedy chose to step down under Trump, handpicked his replacement, Brett Kavanaugh. What I'm saying is, you have conservative groups that are focused, laser-like focus, on putting anti-abortion conservative judges, mostly white males, on the federal bench. You simply do not have the same level of intensity on the left, on the Democratic side. And let's also be honest, this was not a concern of President Barack Obama. It was not a concern of his chief of staff, Rahm Emanuel. This president, I fundamentally believe, has prioritized federal judges even more so than Obama did when he was president. And I think Democrats are now playing in a defensive posture because they now realize they screwed up by not making the courts a top priority.
Oh, absolutely. And let's add Mitch McConnell's shenanigans, this, outright lying about elections being too close and then doing the same thing as related to Amy Coney Barrett and all of that, and denying Mayor Garland an opportunity to be on the court as well. So we can go down that list. And you're absolutely right. People who identify as liberals, progressives, and the like, we have to get more militant in the work that we're doing. Look, after Roe v. Wade was passed 51 years ago, every single year after or shortly after, people who are anti-abortion would meet on Capitol Hill and have protests on the lawn every year, nonstop, for the next 40 plus years. Whether it was 10 folks gathering or hundreds, thousands, they never stopped. Their efforts to get rid of Roe v. Wade started the day after it was passed. And that's what people who identify as Democrats and liberals and progressives have to do now. The fight has to be daily, because it's going to take another generation or two before we can get a switch, if it's going to come down to the Supreme Court. Once again, if we don't get the House back and everything and have opportunities to codify it, but we have to have that same fervor. We can talk about that as relates to voting rights as well. All of this time, Democrats, Republicans, liberals, and the like, waiting to fall in love with the right person, waiting for this and that. Republicans fall in line. Not to mention, these judges, they were not picked by Trump. They were given to him by the conservative organizations. These are the people that we want. Where's our list? Where's our organization that's saying to Biden, this is who you're going to get, or this is who we want? Every single everything that they've done to get rid of Roe v. Wade, we should be mimicking times 10 in order to bring it back, because you're right, it has not been prioritized. And on some levels, we could have the same conversation about what happened with voting rights as well. But I'm glad, the only thing that makes me satisfied about Trump just taking the primaries early is that it gives the Biden administration an opportunity now to start going hard and putting what Trump did, what the Supreme Court has done, in the face of everybody, because it's going to take this amount of time to really remind people of the dangers of what's going to happen if he comes back in, given the assault that we already have on women's reproductive freedoms. And as it has been said, abortion isn't just about a quote-unquote, procedure. This is actual health care on so many levels, and people getting arrested. Andy Bashir, had that ad with the 12-year-old girl talking about what happened to her after she was raped. This is the time for Democrats, liberals, progressives to go hard, and not just until November. This has to be, I have two daughters, man. I have a teenager, 17, and a 15-year-old. And I think about what their future is going to look like if they were to move to one of these states. But if we don't get our act together, we could be looking at a national ban depending on how these folks are going. And it could be with Trump or Nikki Haley. So if we don't get it together now and learn from mistakes of the past, it's a wrap, Roland. And so we got to go hard and we got to go strong now. Otherwise, I'm afraid of what's going to happen, because it's already bad enough, savage and tragic and barbaric in terms of what they're doing to women's rights and families right now.